Interesting. How do I do that? I'm still warming up. It's pretty cramped in this room, but all right. Warm up my shoulders one more time. Then I'll start putting some weight on the bar. The way that the camera is set up, it makes it look like the bar is at an angle, but that's an optical illusion. Where I have my camera set up, I got a mobile laptop desk, and the desk itself is a little bit slanted as well. It's an optical illusion until I sort of get straight with the camera. All right, let's get some weight on here. Start slow, work up. Start at 75 pounds. Maybe go up to 185 over the press. Get the safeties on. Hey, how's it going? Borgamax. I wasn't quite expecting to see anybody that had come out before, considering how much earlier I'm streaming than normal. But I want to get on with my day. My plan is do some chest and shoulders, see how that works out, and possibly spend 45 minutes stretching after, trying to figure out where I can set the camera in order to do all my stretching routine. All right. That's good. I'm doing well. Been doing most of my workouts off camera lately. I've just been too busy, and I just get home, pump them out quickly when I can. I am going to try to do bench press today with my squat rack and my travel bench. I've tried it before, but I wasn't very smart about it. I was thinking about it again, and I think I can make it work. Like, you know when you got a hammer, everything becomes a nail? Well, that's sort of the mindset I got myself into. But then I slept on it, and it's getting hot in here. I got one fan, I might need two. For food for thought for next time. All right, so today is more just setting things up as I go. I started to stretch my elastic. I think I'm gonna go outside today. It's looking pretty nice out there. Go for a walk. So, I'm hoping to be able to do every workout in this room except for my leg days. My leg days, I'm gonna take it. I'm probably gonna take it out to the living room. That way, I can do quad um, extensions, hamstring curls. I couldn't fit those in this room. Grizzly, is that too? I'll say bear, but let me think of how you pronounce that. Bear, bear. Ah, how are how are you doing today? Do my next set in a couple more seconds. Hope you're having a good weekend. Yeah, Twitch has really made my home workouts enjoyable again. I started by doing what you're doing, where working out, like watching, like talking to somebody on Twitch, watching the stream while I worked out, and then I had to thought to myself, you know what? I'm pretty sure I can use this platform to help improve my workouts. But I still never expected to enjoy it as much as I did. My mind wasn't in that set. I was using my oxygen a little bit on chatting here. Yeah, well, for me, thanks for the follow. For me, the gym is still always my home away from home. We're in complete lockdown right now. There is no gym access. But what's more concerning is when the gyms have been open, not all gyms in my province are equal. There's not standard regulations. Where the gym I go to, I feel perfectly safe. I don't get within 30 feet of anyone else the whole time I'm there, and the ventilation's great. I get to see the same guys I've been training with for a long time. We just keep our distance, we sanitize everything. Whereas other gyms, I peeked my head in that Planet Fitness once, and they have their capacity for their building, which in theory sounds great. They have better ventilation than a lot of other gyms, but they have all their workout equipment all in one spot. So that's where everybody conjugates. Like, oh, you limit the capacity, but meanwhile, everybody bunch themselves up at this really tiny corner right here. And after a couple of workouts, you can tell that they're already desensitized to it and they're not practicing any social distancing or any other measures. But for me, the gym will always have a special place in my heart. But having starting to stream again, my home workouts have become enjoyable, and I don't need the gym anymore. And then one thing I actually found is when I started streaming, I actually don't need to stream to enjoy my workouts anymore. So I might stream 1 out of every 3 workouts, But I'm perfectly happy just to pump out a quick hour, hour and a half, and move on with my day. 30 miles, Jesus. Yeah, I used to live just a couple minutes from the gym. I used to go run there in the winters, and I've just moved. This is my new apartment. I've had all my workouts in the living room so far. I didn't have a desk for this room. I couldn't fit my desk. You see, there's this little hallway right here. I couldn't fit my desk. It goes one hallway, 9 degrees, another hallway. There's this little alcove here, and I couldn't fit my desk in this room. So I finally got a desk. I ordered it. It came, and now I have a setup. But I'm gonna try it out. It's a little bit small. I got weights all around the wall. I got 500 pounds of weights in this room. I got a stationary bike. I got a dip bar. I got back extensions. I got I got tons of stuff in this closet. Oh, that's sorry to hear that. Well, thanks for lurking. Appreciate it. All right, next set. Let's get some more weight on this barbell. Go up to 125 pound. Let's do 125 pound military press. Yeah, there's a couple things I have on the agenda for today. One of which, and probably the most important which, is figuring out a way to set up the bench press with my squat rack. That's the highlight. That's the upper end of this stream. I don't know if I said that right. Now this, I might step behind the bar. Yeah, one downside of this room, I'm gonna have to get more fans in here. I am a heat box, and I am just, I can feel the temperature rising non-stop every minute. All right. I'm gonna get a haircut soon too. The hair is keeping the heat in. All right. Next set. Not. There we go. There we go. Not too difficult. I should have warmed up my wrists before I started. Always forget about the wrists until I'll push, and then I'm like, oh, I should have warmed those up. I remember years ago when I was training to be able to do the human flag, I did a lot of handstand push-ups, and not like where it's traditionally coming like in front. Like I'm talking more wider, get the shoulders involved, and I buggered up my wrists. And for about a year after that, I couldn't do push-ups properly. I'd have to grab like, do I have it here? No, I don't. I have some bars where you get neutral grips and do those for push-ups. Take all the pressure off the wrist. I'm gonna take whatever time I need between sets. Not trying to kill myself today. Maybe I'll do some chair dips in the meantime. I don't think my camera quite likes me today. It doesn't look that crisp. Thanks for the follow. Let me try to think of how to pronounce that. Tainus 101. Tainus. Yeah, when I first started streaming, everything was a superset, right? So I was like non-stop exercise. So I go from this to this, and then I go back and forth, and I scheduled my workouts so that I could do that without wearing myself down. Banda, how's it going? Yeah, I had a when yeah, Thursday, I believe. No, Friday. Friday I went back to, was it Friday? Yeah, Friday I picked up this desk that my computer is on, and in the process I realized that the person who I picked it up from lived like a block from the from the house that I grew up in, where I have my earliest memories. And parked the truck. I went walking around. I ended up doing some Cuban flags on this playground structure that was just around, just behind the house that I grew up in, and it was like the highlight was I did it. And I was doing it for like 5-10 minutes, but after I finished, like right at the very end, I turned around and there was a group of like maybe like 7 young boys who were playing baseball across the field, and so they all stopped what they're doing, and I look and they're like all leaning over a fence and they're just watching me, and then after they're like, hey, how'd you do that? Oh, and then so all 7 of them ran up and they were trying to do the human flag, and that made me feel good. Um, I I left. I went and walked around a little bit, came back on my truck, and as I was driving by, there was still one kid there who was still trying it. He was actually getting pretty close. He wasn't holding the bar out here. He was actually plugging it into himself and trying to turn himself sideways that way. But he was doing pretty good. I was that was a good feel good moment. All right, let's get this out of my feet here. All right, so I'm gonna have to use the camera some more. All right, let's go. Oh, hot. Yeah, I'm gonna need at least 2 fans in this room just to keep myself alive. Oh. One thing I gotta watch out for is I don't have enough room to dance around as I do in my living room. So I have a nice little square here that I'm able to work out in. But if I start moving my hands, I could be hitting my stationary bike right here. Yeah. I also gotta figure, I've got to set something up that I can attach a band to so I can do some band work. Um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I could attach it to my stationary bike and add some counterbalancing weights. See how that works. I need something where I can pull on, it's not going to move. I don't really have anything right now. Huh. In the living room, it's a little bit easier to jerry rig up a system. Just my go-to would actually be my typical bench press. So I figure I'll do one more set of overhead presses, just so I don't tax my shoulders too much before I start the rest of my workout. I think I've said these words every stream so far, but music makes every workout better. It's like it's like I'm surfing, right? And there's this wave that's coming along, and that wave is the music. As soon as the music takes off, I just jump on that wave, and I'm ready to go. All right, I'm gonna catch my breath, do another set. I went pretty close to failure that last set, so I can tell I haven't fully recovered, but I'm gonna do a set anyways. And thanks for the follow a minute ago there. I didn't see that. Game over, Mexican. How's it going? I got a good song playing, and I just told myself, hey, I'm going to conserve my oxygen, but here I am still dancing away. I wonder how a bandana would look on me. Just keep the hair out of my face. Just yeah. Well, the fan isn't on me right here. I'm really tempted to run out and steal a fan from the living room. Oh, how red did my face get on that one? My day is going good. For breakfast, I had a hearty egg meal. I put in a rather high calorie egg meal actually. I had I had a smoky, like not a sausage, but more like a oh, I got a little lightheaded on that set, but I had a sausage which I cut up, fried with 300 grams of lean turkey, fried that with some peppers and some bok choy, and then I put in 12 eggs and a cup of egg whites. That was my breakfast. So I have a nice full belly, as well as I had my veggie shake and my flax oil. Well, that last set took a lot out of me. Oh, I wish I put the weight back up here though, so that I don't have to take it off on the ground. But in the meantime, I think I'm going to try to set this up so that it will function as a bench press. And my intention is to put the weights up here, not on the safety rack. I actually don't know how high to put this, but I want you to remember 35 minutes in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9 holes coming up. That's what I'm going to put it back to when I'm done. I don't want to forget that because I don't want to mess up the track for everything else. Oh, is it going out of focus? All right, it's keep me in focus here. Once I go back, it's going out. Okay. I don't know. I'm not in the right spot. All right, so this should possibly work. I might want to. I'm going to make this thing a little bit wider as well. So there's one hole to start. Let's add an extra one. Come on, you. It's stuck. Oh, let's go. Maybe I gotta. Let's try this. Come on, you get in the hole. That's what he said. Okay, this is frustrating. There we go. Try this. All right. Let's hope this works. There. That was slightly tedious, but hopefully this works. Oh wait, this might actually be too wide now. Shoot, we'll see how it goes. Now let's hope this fits on. Easy. Now let's moment of truth. Let's change this camera so it goes more. There we go. These safeties are bothering me, but yeah, they could be one notch up higher. Yeah, let's move it up one notch higher, so I don't make it awkward to. Set the weight down. Yeah. For future streams, I'm going to have this set up a little bit better. I've never done this before. And it's the first time. It's always the learning lesson. Thank you, Shadow Gloom. You're gonna do abs soon? I was thinking about that, but I think instead I'm gonna do abs and arms Monday. I think that'll be my plan. Anyways, let's try to see how comfortable this is. Whoa. Yeah, that's a much better height.
I'm gonna increase the weight, but get the shoulders moving in the right directions. I don't have the fan on me right now. Oops. Okay. Oh, it's so hot. All right. Get some 50s on here. Yeah, so it's a little bit precarious. I just gotta be careful. Don't want to end up putting holes in the wall before I've even been here a month. There. Easy. I'm not really set up to do anything inclined with this bench though. Right. I'm going to get this fan MVP the stream right here. I don't want me coming from this angle. Ooh. Oh. Lower it a bit. Where'd my water go? I got 3 water bottles laid out in different spots around the room. All right. These weights at my feet. All right. There. Feels good. Yeah. Old man power gained through years of exertion. But this weight here doesn't let me show off my old man power. I'm just trying to, right now I'm thinking about how heavy I want to go today and in what increments. I feel like I can go heavier on this setup than I could on my last one because I don't have to bring my arms in, lift up, and then shimmy to an adequate width. And I'm less worried about pinching my fingers on the way down on this setup. So I'll either add 50 pounds to this or 70 pounds. And then keep going at it. All right. Or I could add 50 pounds now and then 50 pounds later. I like that. Let's do that. Oh. The lesson of the day, make sure you have enough fans before you make sure you have enough fans before you lock yourself in a tiny room. That's my lesson of the day. Not as a profound lesson, perhaps, but once you get yourself into the situation, it's a lesson you'll wish that you will have taken to heart. Oh. Not centered. Shit. I'm not centered on this thing. Every time I kept pushing it up, I kept clipping the rack with the weights, and it was really making that a lot more difficult than it had to be. Oh. I'm just gonna take that fan. Oh. Once lockdown lifts, I'm gonna run to get my hair cut again. Like, I don't mind growing my hair long. When I first started streaming, my hair was actually quite long, but it holds the heat in, and I'm a heat box. I can turn myself into those wishing trolls. So I'm gonna do some more bench presses. I want to do some band work, but I have a choice. I could either do a longer chest and shoulder workout, or I could just get enough chest shoulders to tie me off and then go into my stretching routine. Um, Either way, I'm going to be stretching today. It's just I could use this time to try to set up the camera to see if I'm able to use this room to its fullest to actually be able to stretch on stream. Because when I'm stretching, I got to be on the floor. I need enough room to tie me over. I could put on some I could do some dumbbells, do some flies. I know I can use this bench for incline flies on the floor. Maybe I will try to do that because I've never done that before. And I know this bench was partly made with that in mind. Yeah. I pushed myself a little bit with those military presses, and I can still feel it. My shoulders are more fatigued than my chest will probably ever get to today. All right, make sure I'm centered. Oh, bugger. I was a little bit far away, and as my arms started to go back, I started losing the height, and so I could barely get the things over, get the bar over the lip there. All right, so I'm going to add on another 20 pounds. I was thinking about adding 150, but I don't feel like it right now. I'm still having a little bit of difficulty just re-racking the weight. And it's not even because it's really not feasible. It's just more that I'm unfamiliar. So I will add these. Whoa. think I'm gonna make some 50-pound dumbbells for my flies after this. Nothing heavy, just enough so that I'm not loosey-goosey flailing around while being able to figure out how to make it work. KG, I'm not quite sure. 205 pounds, I think. First time I'm ever using this setup. My last setup was pretty sketchy, where I have a bench press which I actually can't fit into this room without disassembling it. But then to reassemble it in here, it just takes up more space than I need. So I got my travel bench, I got my squat rack, which I was using for my overhead presses, and now it's my first time ever using this. I was playing around with the heights, and I've been making this more difficult on myself than it needs to be. Like not being centered, and as I'm coming down, I was like scraping into the side of this, and it was just throwing me off. And then re-racking it, I was too far away from the uprights, and so as I came back to re-rack the weight, I lost just enough height that I had to like get over on that. But today is not about killing myself. But I am hopeful for this setup because once I become familiar with it, I think I'm going to be able to actually put on a lot of weight and be able to do it a little bit safer. Because my last setup, I had to go narrow, lift the weight, shimmy my hands to where they wanted to be, do the set, shimmy back, and then re-rack. And that was because the uprights are right where my hands want to go. So if I want to do bench press on my other setup, my arms would want to be where these uprights were. My arms want to be here. Well, this is where my uprights were. So I grab, shimmy, shimmy, and so I can never actually go to near failure. On here, I do have some safeties, which if I do get the weight, if I do fail to get the weight up, I can always hip thrust and get it on those safeties and then slide out. Plus, without having to shimmy to get the, like I could take myself further to the edge. I can go a little bit heavier. But that will be for another session. Oh, it's a pain, right? Because you know, like even just knowing you can never go to failure because you need to save enough just so that you don't get yourself in a sticky situation. And then even then, when you're putting it back, I clip my hands every once in a while, and it's like pinch, like dang it. All right, so I gotta do this set. It's funny though. It's actually my shoulders are quite fatigued. I was doing how much was I doing? I think I was doing 140-pound overhead press. That might be wrong, but I was doing military presses. But I brought myself right to failure on those. So I got nice fatigued shoulders, but now I gotta somehow I'm planning to fatigue my chest to the same limit with band work later. Do some isolation. Okay, that was. What happened there is I clipped this palm of my meat on this hand, and then I repositioned myself. Yeah, yeah, you know when you pitch your hands, when you make do with what you got. Ugh. The Yeah, the sketchiest thing about my bench press is one, when I'm loading up, I have to be very careful that I don't tip any of my stuff. But two, my bench press also has quad extensions and hamstring curls. But once I get more than 200 pounds on this thing, the whole bench press will want to overturn, like right over the long axis. Just so I gotta sit on it. Not even 200 pounds. Like once I get 50, 100. Once I go past, say, like 140 pounds, the whole thing just starts to tip. So I gotta sit on it the whole time. As soon as I start to get up, it starts coming up with me. Yeah. I'm just imagining getting calluses on the side of my hand. Now that would be hilarious, right? Like you're showing, like I'd go around and like, hey everybody, look at my calluses. And then so like, oh yeah, and I have a callus here, and then you try to explain that. It's just like, yeah, every time I do my bench press, it rubs against the side of my hand. And, uh, oh, I would find that hilarious. I would milk it up, and I think that would crack me up. All right, so I think I'm gonna do one more set of this. Then I'm gonna try to use this travel bench for inclined flies, which I've never done because they're essentially off the floor. Um, and I've been able to use my bench press before. I lift the the back portion of the bench, lift it up, slide a stick underneath it, and then instant incline. Maybe I'll set up some dumbbells in the meantime while I'm taking my rest between sets. I'm gonna need another. Where's my good? There we go. Um, I am a fan of push-pull legs. Ouch. But it really comes down to whether I'm focusing more on maintaining or whether I'm trying to get a lot of growth. If I'm trying to get a lot of growth, I'm going to train whatever muscle group I'm trying to get the most progress on 2 or 3 times a week. And everything I do will be based upon recovery. So it's, I'll break it down as much as I can, knowing it's going to take me a couple days to fully recover. As soon as I recover, tear it down again. And I actually haven't been focusing on my chest that much, or rather explicitly, since I don't have access to a gym. My bread and butter for chest workouts are cables. Like I like the cable exercises, like flies and a whole bunch of exercises we do, where constant tension and I can get a lot of volume in. And I've never had trouble strengthening my chest or growing in size. Like if anything, my chest is actually a lot smaller than it's been in the past. Even if you look at my earlier streams, I've gotten a little bit tighter, a little bit less thick. But even then, often there's not enough hours in the day. The bodies can't recover enough to really train, or at least for myself, to really push myself all out on, say, my chest, my back, and my legs at the same time. Like I will put in a lot of effort to like push-pull legs, and I will every workout I will do my best, but I can't fully attack like everything at once. Like I work better when I focus on something such as my back, right? Where if I can really push myself, and 3 days a week doing like heavy rows, doing flies, and right now I'm actually focusing more on my back than I am on my chest or on any other part. And it's actually with a lot of back exercises, stabilizing the shoulder. I'm starting to get a little bit fatigued in my shoulders. So I'm almost at the point where I want to switch it up from focusing heavily on back to focusing heavily on legs. I want to start push my legs a little bit more. I've been doing weighted pull-ups twice a week, with 1 day a week of other miscellaneous back, like just more volume, lower weight. All right, so I got these dumbbells set up. I'll do my last bench press set, then move on to some flies. I might do some lat pullovers today, just to figure out what's the best way to set that up. Oh, this sucks. I'm hitting my safety racks. I'm a little bit too far back on this. So as it's coming down, I was brushing against these safeties here. All right, let's take off this weight. Actually, I want to see how in between this set, I'm gonna do some headstands, maybe some handstands. See how well I'm able to position the camera and everything. Whoops. Well, yeah, I got my dips here too. All right, so I'm done with this. I'm gonna put it away. I'm done with the bar. All right. Now I want to move. So hot. I'm gonna warm up and stretch my wrist a little bit better. Huh. All right. Now let's see where I can set this camera up so I set it up more this way. Or I might not be able to do an adequate headstand here. Yeah, whatever. It's gonna be what's gonna be. I don't even know what I was hitting there with my legs. I was either hitting my squat rack or I was hitting my paddle bench. But that was frustrating. Yeah, maybe I might have to lower the camera. That might be my saving grace. I am on early. Not too much is up. This is my workout room here. My first time actually working out here when it doesn't come down to the stationary bike. Except I melted my stationary bike this last week. What I did is I moved and I've been using the wrong power cord. I've been using the power cord that's for my electric massager, the percussion massager, because it fits. But not realizing that that thing has 25 volts output while this thing takes 9. And so I overheated all the electronics inside of my stationary bike. It started smoking after it shut off, and now I can't change the resistance. I can't. So I looked into it. I should be able to fix, like, it is $1,000 to replace, but I should be able to fix it for around 100 if I order a control board and then get somebody to install it for me. Yeah. Yeah, I had a fun workout on Friday. It felt like one big dance party with lifting weights in between. It was a very quiet night. There wasn't very many people talking to me, so I was just happy to just move my body, let the music carry me away, and I did some good legs, and then after about 2 hours, then a bunch of people came in, and I probably spent the last it was almost like a 3-hour workout, I think, 2 hours 45 minutes something. So the last 45 minutes was more chatting and working out in between. All right, so I just did some handstands just for fun, trying to set it up. Right now, I want to try something I haven't tried before on this system, which is a inclined rows using my travel bench. And I am going to lower this one. There. So let's try this. They're basically flies off the floor. Try not to run over my toes. Oh. This feels weird. It's a weird angle. Whoa, it's very tippy. So that was my first set of those. Yeah, I bought a pull-up rack, and I've done I can do pull-ups with 150 to 170 pounds on my waist on my new pull-up rack. But there's a couple things. One, the thing is just unwieldy. It just takes up a lot of space. I don't want to keep it in this room because this room is small enough as it is. So I'll do my pull-up exercises out in the living room. I'm keeping it out on the balcony right now. The second is it doesn't have the neutral grip on it, but I was hoping to use my new pull-up rack to do muscle-ups, but I can't do muscle-ups on there because it has the uprights, but then it has bars in between. And when you're doing a pull-up, you do a hollow body, so you don't just come straight up and over top of the bar. You can if you cheat, like you pull and just get one arm over. But the proper way to do a muscle-up is you go hollow body, you arc around, leave enough room for yourself to get above the bar, so and then hook on top of it. So you're doing a pull-up, but at the same time you're doing a straight arm lat pull down, and you hook, and then you get your center mass over top of the bar. But because the straight bars are there's one at the bottom, one at the middle, I can't get my legs out in front of me to get in the right position. Plus, it's very awkward to like. I gotta load up a ton of weights just to hold the thing in place as I come up in the muscle up, because I'm not directly under it. My center of mass is a bit off to the side, so it wants to tip very easily. And then the third is when I'm doing my weighted pull-ups, I actually have to turn around in the rack and do them backwards because the weights at my waist were hitting these bars. And so I've already taken notches out of them trying to do them the regular way. And I tried taking out some of those safety bars, and I did a pull-up, and the whole thing fell off. The whole thing was like this. It was pretty sketchy. I still want to do some band work today, but I don't really. The only thing I have I could possibly wrap around is my squat, or is my stationary bike, but it doesn't take a lateral load very good. Maybe I could use the closet, close the band in the closet. Man, it's hot. Because I don't got the fan directly on me. From now on, for all my workouts, I'm going to bring two fans in here. Have one fan right in front of me, and one fan blowing in from the side. I think that'd make it a lot more bearable. All right, next set. What a view, huh? Oh, my mirror fell over. I want a haircut again. Grab my face. It's a nice day outside today. I'm gonna go enjoy it while I can. Yeah. One thing though is I've actually been streaming a little bit later than normal, but I think the downside with that is most people are most people I watch that typically join me are probably sleeping, so often I don't have very many people to talk to. Like I don't need tons of viewers, but I enjoy having a conversation, meeting new people while I'm here, being able to share what I do with you all. Oh, I got one water bottle left, and then I'm out of water. So I had time to sit down and play some video games last night. Um, I've been so busy with the move and with work and with really touching this place up, as well as my own fitness, my own health, and also some other miscellaneous chores that for family and everything. But I got to sit down last night. I was playing Stardew Valley. That game has been on my list for a while. I played from I played through the first season, so I played through spring, called it quits. I might try streaming that, seeing how that goes. It's just sometimes sometimes it's easier just to dim the lights, shut off the brain, and veg. While other times a little bit of company is just what the doctor ordered. I'm actually pretty relaxed now. I I think my best sets are behind me for the night already. I started with the big list: overhead press, bench press, doing supplies. Hey there, Noma DZ2K. How are you doing tonight? What is that emote of? Mr. Meat Boy. All right, next set. Ooh. All right, that's enough of that. Let's move on. So I will get this weight out from underfoot. Oh, that's all right. So now I want to do some band work, but I need something to connect to. And the only thing that I can think of right now is my stationary bike, but it's going to move, so I'm going to have to add some counterbalancing weights to it. There we go. All right. Let's move this. Okay. Under here. I am turning 34 in less than a month. Um, my plan is for my birthday to head out to a calisthenics park, maybe in the evening when there's nobody there, and then do some muscle ups and then see how many pull-ups I can do before my body gives out. That's what I did for my last birthday. I did that. I did the exact same thing. I was doing some Ninja Warrior stuff where you jump from bar to bar, and then after that, I just did 400 pull-ups and about 30 muscle-ups, and that was my last birthday, and I really enjoyed that. So I'm gonna try it again. Get a walk away, feeling a little bit good about myself. Those dumbbells, they weren't super heavy. They were 55 pounds. I started off with overhead presses, military presses. I think I went up to 140 pounds military presses. Then I was doing 205 bench press. Then my incline flies. And now I want to add some counterbalancing weight to my. No, that's not going to work. That's going to damage this thing. All right, so try this. That's not enough. Okay. I want to do some. All right. That works a little bit better. And I don't have the right elastic band in front of me. So now you're going to see inside my little cubby bowl here. All right. So I want to do focus on some isolation work. All right, so this is holding up well. I'm happy with this. I'm going to focus on the outer section of my chest right now. Now, how do I go this? All right, so I don't really have a way. You have to look at my back. I don't really have. I don't really have a choice. I gotta. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find a better setup for this. Oh. Actually, I have an idea. I might be able to salvage. Yeah, this angle doesn't really get a good, doesn't show a really good, doesn't show a really good grasp of what's going on with my chest right now. So here's where it starts to activate, and you should be able to see me start squeezing from out of your chest, but I'm not. And then for here, what if I wrap around the seat, and then I come this way. I don't have the right angle, that's the problem. Whatever. Come on, you. That's not working. I was hoping not to use this one here because I'm starting to tear. This thing is starting to have fatigue tears in it. What do you usually do for core and lower back? All right, so I typically don't train my core by itself anymore. Um, Most of my core training is from compound lifts. But when I do want to train core, the problem is that for years, for 15 minutes before bed, every night I would train my core. I would do crunches, I would do my heel touches, I do the bread and butter of your standard core exercises, and I got absolutely sick of it. So now when I do my core, I have to spice it up. Like I got to do windshield wipers. I gotta do things that stimulate me and just keep me from being absolutely bored out of my mind. Um, but at the same time, when I had the best ab development was when I was doing my 15 minutes of core, my abs before bed every day. I'll do some handstand. I'll do a lot of calisthenics. As for my lower back, rows are great. I have a back extension machine here that I can get a little bit of acclimation in. I'll do deadlifts, um, standing standing rows, but um, I have my dip bar here. I will set my dip bar up, and I will raise. I'll put my feet on a raised platform, and so my feet are above my head, and then I'll do rows, and I'll really focus on the squeezing aspect at the top. But my bread and butter is cable work. Like I like doing heavy cable rows, but and different variations of that. But without access to a gym, I've had to switch it up. I like getting the real squeeze where you can get a lot of volume in, get a lot of hypertrophy in, and really target where you want in your lower and mid back. And depending on what your pitch is of your back, you can sort of tailor where the stress is going to be in the muscle. Alright, so what was I doing? Yeah, I was doing my band work. But like I said, most of my core is from compound lifts, maybe some calisthenics. I don't have the fan on me right here. It's killing me. Oh, it's so hot. Get my Baywatch moment. Oh, I cracked myself up. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna get an extra fan in here from now on. One is not enough. I'm a heat box, and I've locked myself in a small room. In my old apartment, this is actually my first time in this, working out in this space right now. I didn't have a desk that could fit in this room, so I've been working out in my living room. And, oh, you live and you learn. I got, let's get my dip bar out. Yeah, before I had this dip bar, what I would do is I would have two chairs set up backs facing each other so that I could fit in between them, and I'd have a bar, and I'd put the bar on top of the chairs. It's important that the chairs are the same height, and then I'd have another chair where I would incline my feet on one chair and have a bar resting across the other, and I would grab that bar and I'd use that for rows. And it's a little bit different because you like what's happened with your grip here. That changes the exercise just a little bit. My old man walker. And then I like using bands for extra resistance on the dip bar. But I'm gonna get the fan on me again, or I'm gonna overheat. Not quite. Too high. Try this. All right. Here's the dips. I still feel like stretching. I'm going to be stretching regardless, but normally I like doing my exercise, then going, having a protein shake, relaxing a bit, melting out, and then stretching. But I think what I'm planning to do right now is finish my chest workout and then go straight into stretching. I have like a 45-minute program that I go through. Oh, I need some faster music. This is very uplifting music right now, but it's not really pumping me up that much. It's making me more. Actually, I think it's setting the pace for preparing to stretch. Oh, I'm so hot. How much water I got left? Not very much. I do. I got one full water left. Okay. Oh, it makes a big difference when the fan is on or off me. And right now, I think I got weights that are partially blocking the fan from even reaching me. All right, let's do this. That's the ticket. MVP of the stream right here. Oh. All right. Let's turn this a little bit, lower it a little bit. Ah, that's the ticket. Let's do some more dips. How's that for the camera? Maybe I'll raise it just a little bit. I forgot to put in stretching in the stream title. Hey there, is that Gubster? I can't quite see from here. Let me finish my set. Oh, it is. How's it going? My elastic suspenders. Oh. Oh yeah? Five weeks. I'm sure you're probably a lot stronger at the very least. And like for 5 weeks, you might be able to see some progress when it comes to like in front of the camera. But like strength typically comes first. And even whatever progress we see, there's a lot of strength there that you don't see necessarily on a camera. Yeah, no, it is 5 weeks. If you're pushing yourself, you can make a lot of progress. You get as long as you're getting a lot of volume and you're recovering, and it's been sounding like you've been on the right track. So I'm glad. Good job. Now, I'm sure you're able to push a lot more weight than you could when you started 5 weeks ago. Oh, it's so hot. I keep walking away from where my fan, like, if this fan's not directly blowing on me, I'm dying. I need to get a second fan in this room. Oh, yeah. But even then, right, like, looking more muscular is great and all, but being healthy is more important, right? You gotta move your body, have a healthy heart, live longer, and live well for longer. Oh, yeah. I used to have a lot of lower back pain. I've actually chipped one of my bones in my spine. So if you look on the X-ray, you see like all the vertebrae, and one of them is like jagged, and it was essentially almost like a knife pushing into my muscles in my back, and it would just inflame everything all the time. But once I started training my back and I built up some like a strong base, never had any problems again. But a lot of it is posture too, where a lot of imbalances are caused. A lot of posture deficiencies are caused by imbalances. Where like if you spend your entire day sitting down all day, like your shoulders, like and especially if you don't focus on posture, you know, like for the most part, like your shoulder might start to roll forward, and a lot of stuff starts to pull. If it's pulling, you don't actually counterbalance and open up, and it just pulls everything out of whack. Yeah, 5 weeks. Hope to hear your next progress update and keep going like another 5 weeks from now. And like even then, like 5 weeks is very little. And like it's a very short period of time. But even 1 year, if you take that in the grand scheme of your life, like 1 year isn't that long of a period of time. Like a lot can happen in a year. But if you just make small gains over a year, you look back and you could be completely different from where you were before. You got your vaccine shot on Thursday. Yeah, I didn't stop working out when I got my first shot. Um, what happened to me though is I lost my appetite. Um, I dropped, I don't remember, I think I dropped like 5 pounds over a weekend just because I would put the food in front, like I cooked a lot of food, I got put in front of me, and I'm like, you got to eat, so just eat it. And the food went down every time, but I had no desire to eat. So even with my best attempts to maintain my weight, I still lost some weight just because I eat a lot every day. And if I restrict that, my body can just essentially eat itself. Um, but it, my thought process is if you're feeling well enough to work out, um, like go for it. Just don't trash your immune system. You can work out so hard that you can trash your immune system. Don't do that, right? You want your immune system to be as strong as possible to get the best response out of the vaccine that you can. Yeah, and I'm having trouble signing up for my second shot. And in Canada, right now, they're wanting you to mix and match vaccines. So, like I know for the Pfizer, suddenly they're receiving half as many shipments as they were counting on. So so they're like, oh yeah, just do this. But what like fine, but what annoyed me is they're saying blatant lies in their fact sheet, right? Like they're saying the facts are based off of like whatever suits them the best, and I don't want to see that from a government. I want at least even if the truth is unpleasant, I want like tough love, not lying to my face and misrepresenting the facts about what the science says, like directly contradicting to. Anyways, that's my rant for the day. Yeah. So I've got a decision to make, and I'll likely do whatever I got to do. But anyways, next bet. How's this? Put my hair in my eyes. Ugh. Where's my water? Yeah, I went to go sign up for my vaccine shot, and my second one, and it essentially said nothing available. And I went on like, okay, what's the earliest available? Click like no matter what I click, it just says no appointments available, no appointments available. I tried looking if I could head to any other site in Manitoba, still unavailable. Oh, all right. So I think I'm going to start setting myself up for stretching. I've got some weights to put away. I'm just so hot. Like, the hotter I get, the more it's slowing me down. Oh. And I got like what's happening is I'm forgetting. Like I'm walking around, going in front of the camera, walking back, but I'm forgetting to like if the fan isn't directly on me, it gets unbearable quick. So I'm gonna do one more set of dips, and then put my weights away and set myself up for stretching. What I'm thinking of is I'm gonna take my camera and lower it, and then if that doesn't work, I might just raise it right up and look down on the whole room. And what's happening is I'm sweating, and the middle of my carpet is starting to get a little bit damp. I've been feel squishy when I'm stepping on it. Get my Baywatch moment. Hey there, Izzy Do. How's it going? I just overheated, so I'm fanning myself down. Gonna do another. Oh, I think my camera just went all fuzzy. I'm doing good. Let me see if I can get my camera in focus. It's been 2 hours of a chest workout. I did some military presses, some bench press, some flies, some band work, incline flies. I'm planning to set myself up for some stretching right away. It's just, why is my camera getting all fuzzy? I make faces at it till it decides to play nice. How are you doing tonight? Thank you. You can see the marks on my chest where I've had the elastic bands around me. Oh. I'm not sore, I'm just hot. This is my first time in this room. I've recently moved and I've been doing my workouts in my living room, and I need another fan in here to keep myself alive. I'm running out of water. All right, thanks for coming by. Well, it wasn't before. It's not that hot out there. There's rainbow outside. It's nice, and the temperature's nice. But I'm a heat box enclosed in a small space, just giving off heat. Anyways, I'm gonna do one more set of dips. That should be good. Make sure I got the fan on me so I don't die. And hit my bands. I have a tongue, I'm not. Okay, interesting. Let's raise this a little bit. Raise a little bit more. Hopefully it stays in focus. Who's that? Let me see. And yeah, appreciate the alert. I made a highlight video of you exercising your mod powers. I enjoyed that. Anyways, this set sort of went out the window right now. I'm gonna check it out, get my head back into it, and all right, let's go. Sort of pick the set back up right in the middle. Uh, 4 p.m. All right. I might have to run out for a sec and grab some more water. Yeah, I'm gonna be right back. Like I'm talking 30 seconds. I'm gonna grab some water. Leave the window, leave the door open in the meantime. Oh, that's nice. Cool. This door is like a legitimate boundary where you can actually feel yourself walking from like one plane of existence to another. Temperature. There's such a big temperature difference. You can actually it's like physically walking through a substance. Oh. All right. Let's play around a little bit. Let's move this so I don't kick it. Oh, maybe I should give myself another 30 seconds just to catch my breath. Whoa. My triceps are fatigued. I can't push myself any higher than that without losing my stability. Thanks for the follow, Icy Miss X. Oh, I shouldn't be dancing around right now while I'm so overheated. At least I gotta keep the fan on me. Jeez. Lord Abman. Yeah. I've had this name growing up. My dad used to call me Adnan the Madman. And then RuneScape 1, I was the original Adman. And at one point in time, I lost access to my character and I couldn't get it back. And I needed to come up with another name. So I was thinking like Ad Maniac, and then finally like Lord underscore Adnan. That was it. All right. So I am going to put away some of my stuff here. And try to set up for stretching now. Oh. Oh, that's a ticket. Oh. Oh. All right. See, flexing the chest isn't that hard. It's mostly mind muscle connection, where you get women that can do it as well, where it's just, but not everybody can. Not and people. Well, I guess people pretty much can. It's just certain people find it harder than others. All right. Yeah, I know several women who can, and I remember the first time, like me being a guy, just thinking it was just a guy thing, and then I was I was actually showing off, right? Like I was just showing off, and then she just showed by, and was like, oh, I can do that too, and then she did like twice as good as I could, and then and then just like gave a nod and walked off. Meanwhile, we are just standing there like with our mouths on the floor, just like what just happened there? I remember that moment. That was she was good people. She was a good character. That was her mic drop moment. All right. So for my stretching, I typically have a routine that I follow. I'm gonna have to get out my band or my yoga strap. This is my shorter one. All right, so this one will work. Now I want to put my stationary bike back, give myself more room, and let's see if I'm able to really set myself up so you can see on the floor very well. So I want to start off, maybe I need to, this is over. Right, this will work to start, and then I want to move to the floor, and I think it went blurry. So that's not bad. Aside from the fact that I think it's blurry. Make faces at it till it. Come on, camera. Be good. Ooh. The question though is, does that dress have pockets? I do, before the world shut down, I did a lot of partner dancing, and one of my earliest, when I first started out, I started off with swing dancing, and in swing dancing, the women, they wear those old vintage dresses where when you spin them, the dresses flare up, and I remember there's one woman who would find these dresses that would actually have pockets, and then suddenly everybody was just like, oh my god, it has pockets, and I'm so hot. But right now, I have 6 abs that you can see. Oh, I'm slimy. Well, I could be worse. But I have another 2 abs that are buried beneath fat. And I got to get down to, last time I measured myself, I was at 11% body fat. So right now, I got 6 that you can see, and another 2 that are buried. That not only do I have to go 5 to 7% body fat to see, I also have to train them a lot harder for just a little bit of extra visibility. Oh. All right. So I am going to set myself up here for my stretching stream. I'm going to shut off the music. And I have a YouTube video that I follow along behind. So stretching view, try this. All right, audio capture. And now if I go technical difficulties right now, then my fitness folder, stretching, for now let's.
Hey everyone, it's Nico, and today I'm going to be taking you through a complete beginner's flexibility routine. If
Hello.
You're someone who feels that flexibility is one of your weakest suits, this video is for you.
How is that for sound?
So we're going to start standing on the mat, and I'm going to bring my right arm up and just place it over the other side of my head. And just let gravity pull me down. This is something that you always want to keep in your mind while you're stretching, is to just let gravity do all of the work. You're not necessarily pushing yourself into anything because that can cause pain.
Saving lives, that's
using the weight of your right arm.
Commendable. Keep up the good work. Keep making a difference to your own community.
You don't want to be pulling
Thank you for coming out and visiting with me. Joining me on my jerk out, my workout, my journey to. I mixed 2 sentences there. I was thinking journey to better myself and work out at the same time.
Breathe, your muscles get more relaxed.
Can't speak like that. On my workout
and finally,
and
we'll just
joining on my journey to improve myself every week.
Maybe shake it a little bit side to
side. Yeah. I know people who can actually speak 2 sentences on top of each other, and I think that would be a really cool skill to tailor. It would have basically no use, but
and forward.
Anyways, I'm going to set up my workout, my stretching stream right now, and
I'll
pause that. All right, so I'm all set up for stretching right now. Thank you for coming out. Jerk out. I crack myself up every day. Bye-bye.
Hey everyone, it's Nico, and today I'm going to be taking you through a complete beginner's flexibility routine. If you're someone who feels that flexibility is one of your weakest suits, this video is for you. So we're going to start standing on the mat, and I'm going to bring my right arm up and just place it over the other side of my head and just let gravity pull me down. This is something that you always want to keep in your mind while you're stretching, is to just let gravity do all of the work. You're not necessarily pushing yourself into anything because that can cause pain. Just letting your neck fall, using the weight of your right arm to pull on your neck, and then we'll switch to the other side. Again, you don't want to be pulling down on your neck because that could hurt you. Just rest it there. Then we'll wrap both arms behind our head to go forward. Just let it dangle. Every time you breathe, your muscles get more relaxed. And finally, we'll just hang our head back. Maybe shake it a little bit side to side. And now we'll take one roll. And then to the other side. Then we'll roll our shoulders back. And forward. Back. And forward. Then I'll step my feet out to be a little bit more than hip width apart. And we'll plie or bend the knees to reach up and breathe. And then come back down to reach up and breathe. We're going to do this a few times. And what we're doing here is really stretching out the whole body and letting it warm up, getting all the muscles moving before we start stretching. And this is something that you should always, always do before you stretch. You don't want to just start pushing your body into something it's not ready for. If your muscles are warm, you're going to find that the flexibility comes much easier. Awesome job, guys. Great. So for this next stretch, I'm going to grab this stool behind me, but you can grab anything in your house that's about that height. A desk, a table, or a chair, anything will work. So if you need to grab that, go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to come and place my feet more than hip width apart, and then we're going to lean forward to rest our hands on this stool. And this is just to make getting into this stretch a lot easier. You really want to make progress here and make sure that you're not putting too much pressure on your hands, but it's there to keep it from being too painful. So let's hold here. Make sure you're breathing, sending oxygen to your hamstrings while you stretch them. And try as hard as you can to relax, because the more relaxed your muscles are, the more flexible they will be. And then I will come up and we'll move it a little bit to the side so that it makes a line with my leg, and then I'll come to the side. In this position, I want to make sure my hips are even and I'm not letting one be higher than the other. And again, I'm breathing. And then we'll come back up and move it to the other side. And you can also be moving your body instead of the stool or chair or whatever you're using. remembering to breathe. And back up. And just one more time for good measure, we're going to come back to the center. So I'm going to come down on my elbows here to give myself a little bit of an extra stretch, but I only recommend doing this if you're able to keep your back flat while doing so. And by that I mean it's engaged, your shoulder blades are tucked down, pulling towards your lower back, and you aren't letting it arch up like this, just keeping it nice and flat, should be parallel to the ground. And if you aren't able to do that here, then come back up onto your hands. And then we'll come back up to stand. So for this next stretch, we're going to be sitting on the ground. So I'm going to move this stool out of our way.
Oops.
I'm going to sit back on the edge of my mat and extend my legs out to either side. Now in a full straddle stretch, your legs will be straight.
All right, wait for me, woman.
I'm going to sit, and then we'll come back up to stand. So for this next stretch, we're going to be sitting on the ground. So I'm going to move this stool out of our way.
I'll pause. All right. All right, I can do better than that. I ended up pausing my chat. How do I get back there? All right. All right, that should do.
I'm going to sit back on the edge of my mat and extend my legs out to either side. Now in a full straddle stretch, your legs will be straight, but in our modified version, we'll have our legs bent here, lifting our knees up off of the ground. And from here, you'll just go as far forward as you can. Now, I encourage you to place your hands a foot, maybe 2 feet in front of your hips. And from here, you want to slowly try and straighten your legs, bringing your knees to touch the ground. So that's what you're fighting for, and you just want to hold. So straddle stretch is a great stretch to be able to see your own progress in. I encourage you to pay attention to the floor if you're stretching in the same place every day, because you'll start to see your hands move along, and it's really encouraging. So while you're pulling to get into these stretches a little bit deeper, you always want to make sure you're pulling from the right place. And the common thing to do is pull the top of your head down to try and pull yourself closer to the ground, but you actually want to pull your chest closer, and that's going to keep your back lifted and your shoulder blades pinched together like the flat back I was talking about earlier, so you're able to reach out and really go to the fullest extent of your stretch. So for now, make sure you're pulling your chest out and think about trying to get that pulled down all the way to the ground. Okay, so now we're going to stretch each side, and in a normal straddle stretch, we could stay here and then fold over to each side, but to make it a bit easier, we bring our opposite leg in and then go over. So you want to grab onto your leg and pull your chest closer as you...
Mike Fitz, thanks for the raid. I've visited your stream quite a few times. You caught me at the end of my workout here. I started with overhead presses, then I did bench press, then I did some incline flies, I did some band work, did some dips, and right now I'm finishing off my workout with some stretching. But thank you everybody for coming on. I'll pause my stretching, do some flexing just cause. But right now, I'm a Heat Bucket. The MVP of the stream right now, aside from Mike Fit, is this guy right here. It's keeping me alive. It's my first time in this room. I've been working out in my living room since I moved, and this guy here is, whoa, I need another fan for next time. So you live and you learn. Yeah. Well, so how's everybody doing tonight? Anything you want to see before I go back to stretching? I do some headstands, just fool around a bit. I've never had such a big grade before. It makes me want to fool around a little bit. Typically, when I am working out, I will put on some music and I'll just jam. I shut down my music so that I could listen to my stretching video. My triceps are pretty fatigued right now. But Mike Fitt's a good character. He's got good advice. I did my first backflip this year, and then lockdown hit again, and I was focusing on more the splits, if anything. But I got injured at work a little while ago, and I had to take a break from the splits, and I lost a lot of my flexibility since. Right now, what's keeping me from doing the full split is both hip flexors. And this side here is worse, because this hip flexor, what happened is I stepped in a hole on a riverbank and I slipped and my leg went out that way. And I injured my SI joint and my... Okay, I got it. So this one's a little bit worse. Oh, I'm sweating. I don't have the fan on me. All right, so I'm going to make sure I read everything in chat here. I dropped my mouse to... All right, so let me read out some names here. I got Yoga with Jen, Catalina L123, Big Tom 2021, Clamps 417, Nope Just Evil, and then there's Mike Fit. That's Yoga. Taylor J92, Tiddly D. Yeah, thanks for all the compliments. I'm actually a lot, not leaner, but I weigh a lot less than I'm used to. I typically train over 200 pounds. My comfort zone has traditionally been around 220 pounds. I'm 190 pounds right now. What happened is when the second lockdown hit, for the first time in my life, I lost motivation. So I stopped training for no other reason than I was having a hard time just picking myself up in the mornings. And I started using Twitch as a platform to really, for me, it's about making my workouts enjoyable again and holding myself accountable just to show up every day. Because I knew just showing up, just doing that alone, everything else is going to fall in place. And it did. But one thing I wasn't expecting was to enjoy streaming as much as I actually did. I've met a lot of good people. The community is really welcoming, as well as I will watch other streamers like Mike Fit, and he and others motivate me to make me just want to lift things and move my body. So my pre-workout is I will watch some other streamers, get myself all pumped up, and then crush the weights. That's my MO. I'm still catching up with chat here. All right. Yeah, Tiddlywinks. I actually played Tiddlywinks. I'm 30. Well, I'm turning 34 in a month. I remember Tiddlywinks. Even then, I was sort of caught. It wasn't as popular when I was growing up because I was even my dad's age. But I remember the marbles. I grew up in a small town where we just did whatever we had. Wasn't a lot of. As for me, Catalina, I'm based in Manitoba, Canada, smack dab in the middle of Canada. Yeah, Mike is pretty cool. I like Terrible Hime as well. I'll typically catch Mike or Terrible Hime because they work out before I do. Normally I work out a little bit later than this, but I'm going to be trying to start working out a little bit earlier. I've just been in the process of moving, new apartment, new life turns. Yeah, Canadians, eh? Yeah, we're not doing so good for the pandemic. Yeah, my claim to fame, I guess, is I'm very good at pull-ups. I can put 150 pounds on my waist and then do pull-ups. I can do muscle-ups. I'm not set up to do them here though. I know when the pandemic first hit, I took all my workouts outside. I started doing a whole bunch of calisthenics. I started just going for, like, you know how people go for walks? Well, I would go for walks, but I would lunge the whole way. Put on a weight vest and kind of give us Justin Bieber, and then you just you pieced out, huh? You're like, okay, I've seen everything I need to see here. Moving on. But we also gave you Chris Jericho, so I know it doesn't quite make up for it, but no, I'm just kidding. People want to like or hate on Justin Bieber. I got no opinion. Well, for me, I just did a lot of volume, and it took a long time to build up a lot of the stabilizers in around the shoulders to really get that volume in. And 2018, I herniated my disc and I tore my glute in a workplace injury, and I had to crawl 8 kilometers out of a swamp where the only way in was flying in and out. And life was really hard for a long time. The first thing that happened is I lost 60 pounds because my legs just shriveled up. I could not train my legs. I couldn't pick up anything off the ground. All I could do was pull-ups, and that's all I did. So for a long time, all I did was like hang exercises and pull-ups. And I went from like 240 pounds to like 170 pounds. And then I went back up to like 180, and that's where I stayed for a while. But until I went back up over 200, until I could actually start to pick weights up off the ground again. But what happened is, like, I had pull-ups, and I went from being able to do 400 pull-ups in an hour for a challenge, just for shits and giggles, at like 240 pounds, maybe not 200, maybe 225, to being 170, and I was nothing. I was just repping out pull-ups like nothing, and got a little bit better at them. And it wasn't until 2020 that I could really train my legs again. So even now, my legs aren't as defined as I like them. I built back up some strength, but I've got a ways to go. I got my last I measured, I was at 11% body fat. And thanks for the follows too. I got I got quite a few here. I appreciate the raid from Mike Fit. I got if I had a choice, I would be a back with legs. I'm not really as into having like my biceps. I'd rather work on my triceps or my abs. Right now I'm just focusing on staying lean enough in preparation of doing a heavy cut later this year. Yeah, I know, right? Like, when I first started training, I started training at 24, and I had been hard on my body my entire life. I thought 30 was old. I thought I've got 6 years of training, and then life just goes downhill. How naive I was, right? Like 30 came, and I'm like, why would I stop? I'm loving it. I'm strong as ever. Let's keep going. Everybody's got misconceptions, but eventually your testosterone levels do start to drop, and you get a lot of stuff that goes on. But even then, I'm going to be fit and do what I can to live well for as long as I can. For myself, it's mostly I want to be healthy, I want to feel good, I want to be able to just participate in life. I want to be able to go run a marathon one day just because, like, not aiming for the top, just being able to do it. I want to be able to play badminton. I want to be able to play baseball. I just want to participate. I want to experience. I want to do all that good stuff. Yeah, Mike Fit is good people, quite knowledgeable. Yeah, it's like for myself, anything fitness and diet related, it just interests me. So for every hour I work out, I'm spending more time researching stuff, reading scientific studies, listening to nutritionists, finding different videos on YouTube, and it's just because everything about it really has captivated me for the last decade. I've been training for 9 years. I've used my own body as a science experiment. I started off with bodybuilding, decided I didn't like it. I got too bulky and I wasn't functional anymore. Like I had so much bulk and muscle up in my traps, like up in my shoulder, like everything up in here. I couldn't lift my hand over my head. It would just get stuck. And so my go-to is a mixture, a hybrid between bodybuilding and strength training, focused around compound lifts, push-pull legs. Yeah, him and his wife, they have a good dynamic between them too. I know she does boxing demos that are real gut buster exercises. And for myself, I have my stable cardio is the stationary bike. So for myself, I like putting on a movie in front of me and just pedaling as hard as I can, as fast as I can, trying to burn 1,000 calories in the least amount of time. And to go outside, and I just put a movie in front of me and I shut my brain off and just go. But aside from that, like I like things that are interesting, that are stimulating for the brain. If I'm going to like play a sport, I'm going to play something like badminton. I'm gonna go, or boxing, right? Like boxing, it'll beat your gut up, and you'll walk away from there just be like, oh, I love it. So I should probably list something. I've been streaming for almost 3 hours. I did a 2-hour chest and shoulder workout, so I don't know how much I have left in the tank. But I'll do maybe some handstand push-up stuff. I think my camera's gone fuzzy. Whenever my camera looks funny, I just make faces at the camera until it goes away. Well, it's Canada Day. It's Father's Day. I can feel I've got a little bit of workout brain. You know, when you've been going really hard for a couple hours, and once the edge sort of comes off, you start to crash a little bit. I can feel a little bit of that. I'm starting to relax, starting to get into my stretching, just mellow, loosey-goosey, and then suddenly I got a raid, and they're like, all right, let's go. All right, let's get the fan on me. That's the most important part. Let me know if you can. And I can feel I'm fatigued. I was having a hard time keeping straight and push myself back up. Yeah, I get a lot of respect for calisthenics. A lot of people build really amazing bodies. There's tons of progression, right? Like you start off, you can do push-ups on your knees, even triceps. One of the best home workouts for triceps that anyone can do. You're at your chair in front of your computer, do your chair dips, right? Keep yourself nice and vertical. And you can either take your feet out of the equation and focus on squeezing your way up. If that's too difficult, you can keep your legs under you to help. And you can really feel that burn come in. And it's the same thing with push-ups. You're doing push-ups, you're on, you can stay on your knees. And you can change a lot of variations. You can keep your shoulders come up. The higher you bring your center of mass above your arms, and the more difficult it gets until you're straight doing handstand push-ups. Yeah, you guys get it. And the thing though is I'm actually very proud of what I can do with calisthenics, because a lot of the things I can do are made for a lot lighter men. So I'm 190 pounds doing things that are tailored for somebody who's like 150 pounds and has plenty of muscle. A couple of years ago, before like 2017, before I herniated my disc and tore my glute, I joined a circus group, and I was a lot like everybody else there was like 18 to like 21, and I just showed up. I got invited. I showed up, and I had the time of my life. Everyone was more supportive, and it was the point where the environment was basically like almost sappy, but it was great. Everyone just cheering each other on, and it was a big ego boost to just be able to show up and participate. We did stuff hanging from silts from the ceiling, straps, the rings. I got to learn a lot of different techniques. For myself, I was the base, where my very first time ever going there, within an hour, I had some guy over my head, hand to hand, doing handstand, and I'm just standing there thinking, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like I was having the time of my life. Like this, they were like, okay, how much can you bench? So I can do this comfortably, and then we did it on the floor first. And one thing I've got going for me, I can lock in, and it doesn't move. So like I'll lock in my shoulders. My arms don't move. I can lock myself out. I understand the body mechanics, and literally hand to hand doing handstands. We got up to doing like one arm stuff, and it was a good time. But I wasn't even the heaviest guy there. There was this black guy there named Michael, he had the body of a Greek god, like the best proportions I've ever seen. The guy was full of muscle, like everything rolled. And he's the guy that invited me there from the gym. But he was like the nicest guy you'd ever meet. He was the one that actually trained me. And the stuff he could do. So everybody else was like 150 pounds. They were trying to keep off as much weight as they could, so that they could be pound for pound as good as they could possibly be. Whereas Michael, he was just like a genetic specimen. And the things he could do with just pure power was, I've never seen that before or since in my entire life. I'll click on that link later. I'm gonna get caught up on chat here. So sounds like you got a nice boss. I have a nice boss as well. I've been working there for maybe 10 years, and it's like it's a very wholesome work environment. It's hard work sometimes, but we all do our part. Your audio card is dying. However, you challenge me. I will click. Well, it's a YouTube video, right? You're not going to get too much. I think I still have my audio on, so you can hear my. Let's mute this so you can hear my computer sounds. Okay, so I'm clicking on the video. I'm getting a link. Chris Pratt, yeah, doing his dancing. Yeah, doing the Running Man. Yeah, I started partner dancing the same time that I started weightlifting. Like I started weightlifting and I got a lot of gains, and 6 months later I started partner dancing. And I will never be able to go without music again. So I'm gonna set this thing up here. So go back to my workout view so I can turn my sound on. I'll jam out. I cannot live my life without music anymore, but I'm gonna die from the heat if I. I filter out my music so that I don't get the songs blocked. Right now, I'm listening to Undressed Rehearsal by Time Flies. Alright, so that was my song right there. Song's over. Dancing ends. Ooh. Anyways, I sort of want to get back to my stretching a little bit. What I figure is I can keep chatting to you guys. I'll just keep my phone on me so I can read the chat. Let's get Twitch open here. Oh, there it goes, out of focus. Goes nice and focused on my calluses. On my channel. There we go. I click on myself. All right, there. Now I can see the chat on this thing, so I can go and switch back to my stretching view. And I will rewind 20 seconds.
Okay, so now we're going to stretch each side. And in a normal straddle stretch, we could stay here and then fold over to each side. But to make it a bit easier, we bring our opposite leg in and then go over. So you want to grab onto it without trying to get that pulled down all the way to the ground.
MVP right here.
Okay, so now we're going to stretch each side. And in a normal straddle stretch, we could stay here and then fold over to each side. But to make it a bit easier, we bring our opposite leg in and then go over. So you want to grab onto your leg and pull your chest closer as you stretch. And you want to make sure you're keeping that back flat. You will be able to reach farther if you arch, but you're losing all of that nice stretch in the back of your leg, all through your hamstring if you do so. So fight for that flat back and try and get that chest to your knee. And now we'll go to the other side. So we'll switch, bring our other leg into our thigh, and then fold over. I'm pulling my chest to my knee, stretching out that hamstring. Trying to keep your back as flat as you can. And come back up.
I'll make a highlight later, thinking.
Let's do the middle stretch one more time. So we'll bend our knees and come forward. Maybe notice that you've made a little bit of an improvement, a centimeter or two. Each time you do it, you should feel a little bit more comfortable. And fight to lower your knees a little bit. Keeping that back flat. A few more seconds. Really lower down as far as you can.
I don't know if I'm getting my shot on here.
And come out of it. Amazing. So now we're going to bring our feet into the middle for a butterfly stretch. And here I'm just going to sit and hold my ankles and push my knees down with my elbow. You should be feeling a nice stretch either in your groin or in your glutes, or maybe both, depending on where you need to be more flexible. And we're gonna fold over, and in this stretch it's okay if you let your head go and you arch your back. It's one of the few. Really pulling yourself down. And now we're gonna do the opposite and try and stretch out and keep that back as flat as we can. Pushing that chest out, really stretching out those hips. And come back up. So the next thing that we're going to do is going to be a pike stretch, and I'm gonna move sideways for this so you can see me better. So the key to doing this is having your hips all the way underneath your body and your back up straight behind you. If you're unable to sit up straight, then you want to keep your butt above your feet. And there are a couple different ways that you can do this. The easiest way, using only your body, is to actually come up onto one knee and extend the other one in front of you so that you can start to lean forward. That'll make it a lot easier. You just have to make sure that you do it on both sides. You can also be in a pike with either a low chair or maybe a few towels stacked underneath you so that you're lifted above your feet. So for now, I'm going to stay seated here on the mat, but if you need to go and grab a chair or something else to sit on, go ahead and do that now.
I don't know if I have.
I'm going to lean forward, grabbing as far down on my legs as I can. And if you are here and you're sitting up super straight and it's already stretching the backs of your hamstrings, that is absolutely great. I encourage you to stay here and keep fighting for it. If you chose to sit here without any other props assisting you, also make sure that you're not pushing yourself too hard. Maybe you can do it, but you might find that you're able to make more progress in a stretch that's slightly more comfortable. So just make the decision that's best for you.
Oh.
The other thing you'll find is that it's easier whenever your toes are pointed. So if you flex, you'll get a deeper stretch coming all the way up to the tops of the hamstrings. And then we'll come out of it. Awesome job,
normally,
guys. Okay, so I'm just going to scooch forward a little bit so I can lay down on my back here.
Normally, I'm going to lower her volume as well. Normally, I will do my workout, and then I will have a protein shake, go relax for a little bit, and then do my stretching later. I don't often go straight from working out to stretching, but largely the reason is because I wanted to set this my first time in here. I wanted to make sure that I could get it on camera properly, and so far it looks like everything is working out fine.
Here, and we're going to lift one leg up, and you can grab it as low as you need to, coming all the way up to the tops of the hamstrings. And then we'll come out of it. Awesome job, guys. Okay, so I'm just going to scooch forward a little bit so I can lay down on my back here. And we're going to lift one leg up, and you can grab it as low as you need to. The other thing that you could do here is grab a belt or a scarf or an actual exercise band, wrap around your heel, and then pull your leg closer. But holding lower down on your leg is just fine too. And as you're practicing this stretch, you want to make sure that you're always reaching and trying to walk your hands up and get them all the way up here. This really is the goal of this stretch, but for now, it's fine to grab it down here. And then I'm going to bend my knee in, pull it to my chest, and bring it over my body to come to a twist.
I have a pull-up rack that I bought. I just leave it on the balcony outside and bring it in and do my back workouts in the living room.
And come back. And we'll straighten.
It's not the best, but I can add 150 pounds to my waist. 150 to 170 pounds to my waist and do some pull-ups. And the rack itself stays in one position, or stays in one piece. The downside is I have to actually use the rack backwards because there are safety bars horizontal across the front of it, and the weight around my waist will actually hit those bars. I used to do my pull-ups on my door, and I don't have any doors in this place that
and then we'll come back to center.
That I can use for my pull-ups.
And switch, bring the other leg up, grab as high up as you can, and pull it closer to you.
Well, I'm a lot stiffer on this one today.
Leg is all the way straight. And then and bending it in. To pull across your body. Turn your head to face the other way. And breathe, releasing your spine, letting it fully twist. We'll come back to center.
Also, who was that? That was
and do it all one
Notorious
more time.
Gamer,
So
1,
stretch
2,
the
3,
leg out straight.
7.
Grab as high as you can
8, 6.
and then pull. Really breathing. And bring it back in. Pull tight to your chest. And then we'll pull it back over to look the other way. Remember to relax into it. And then we'll come back to center.
So now I'm going to pause this video, and I'm going to do my own thing. But, yeah, I have a pull-up bar station. I pretty much only use it for pull-ups, though. I tried actually taking off some of the safety horizontal bars, and the whole thing just went. It was a little bit sketchy. Oh. As I drive my toes down and my heel up, you get more in the calf. All right, twist. Oh, this one burns. That's good. Oh. That's not a slack. Oh. Oh. we go. Now I will catch back up with that video.
Okay, so now we're going to come back up to a standing position. And I'm going to bring one foot up to grab it behind me. During this quad stretch, I want to make sure that I'm pushing my... And then we'll come back to center and put our leg down. Okay, so now we're going to come back up to a standing position. And I'm going to bring one foot up to grab it behind me. During this quad stretch, I want to make sure that I'm pushing my hips forward so I'm getting that full stretch all along my quad and into my hip flexor. And while you're here, I want to take a minute to tell you that you should always be working every single day, stretching and working towards that flexibility. But you also have to remember that your progress is not going to be linear. You're not going to be making constant, amazing results every single day. Some weeks you'll do great, and others you won't see much progress, but remember not to get discouraged, that the more that you're fighting for it and working towards that flexibility, you will get there. So let's switch to the other side. Really feeling that stretch all in that quad and in that hip flexor, pushing my hips forward.
Jeez.
Bringing my heel to
when you turn the head, the body follows.
Our hip flexors are always really tight while we're sitting at work, sitting anywhere in the car. Our natural seated position actually allows them to contract a lot, so it's really great to stretch them out. And then we'll come out. And for that position too, if you're having trouble balancing, go ahead and grab onto a wall or a chair next to you. So lastly, we're going to stretch our arms. So I'm going to bring my right one across my body and pull it in with my left. Really allowing this shoulder.
Arcanus, how's it going?
So that I can get a full stretch.
I'm coming off a relatively large raid
my
by
left
Mike
arm
Fit.
is the only one working.
And
then swing it out.
Did a 2-hour chest and shoulder workout. Started stretching, and then as soon as I started stretching, I got a raid. I was basically jumping around, almost even giddy.
And then we'll shake it out again.
Before
do the tricep on this side.
A majority of people left, and I went back to my stretching.
You really want to try.
Well, let me finish my tricep stretch, and I'll go read the chat.
Stretching. Don't let it hang out up here.
This is my new workout room.
And then shake it out.
I plan to do all my workouts except for my legs and my back. Or rather my legs and my pull-ups in this room. But this is my first time in here. And I'm going to need more fans because I'm...
So, that's all I have for you
today. I did.
I really hope that this video helped you. Please let me know in the comments what worked,
all
what
right.
didn't, and
so that's,
any other areas that you'd like me to...
That's the first section of my stretching program I do. And I had a shower this morning. I'm gonna need another one. I've been really good. I've been really busy. I've only been streaming one out of every like 3 workouts I've been doing. I just haven't had the time to really sit down in front of a computer and just until last night. Last night I played some video games, went to bed, woke up this morning, made myself a really large breakfast, and then came here after I moseyed around a bit, cleaned up. The new place is working out pretty well. It's a little bit far away from the gym for my liking, but they're closed right now, so I'm not really feeling it. But eventually I will. I'm no longer within easy running distance of the gym.
Go ahead and reach the side, like
all right.
Pass your toes.
So I'm staying at my next video. Yeah, that was Resident Evil 7. I am a Resident Evil nerd. I am a Resident Evil fanboy. Resident Evil brings me back to the time when I was a kid watching my dad play Resident Evil 2 on the PlayStation 1. Right? I remember watching him getting chased by and so for me, all the Resident Evils they become nostalgic. They become like a staple of. They just bring me back to a very good time. And Resident Evil, I've 100% complete every Resident Evil game except for Village and the multiplayer components of Resident Evil 5 and 6. Because by the time I got Steam and I actually got them on the PC, no one's playing them online anymore, so I got no one to actually play against. Yeah, 7 was too different for me when I first started. So I started playing Resident Evil 7. I beat the very first boss, and then I stopped playing it for like 6 months. Just like, this isn't Resident Evil, what is this? But then I started again, and it's actually a really good game. It has everything that all the other Resident Evil games has. It has tons of playability. It has a lot of challenges where it's actually, you can either just play through have an easy time at it, or you can actually challenge yourself where it's very, very difficult. And there's a DLC called End of Zoe, where you play as an old man in a swamp. And you have your pair of fists, and you're punching the zombies to death. And so you're just an old man in a swamp, killing zombies with your bare hands, rescuing your niece. And to 100% complete the game, you have to complete these challenges, which were the hardest challenges I've ever done in any Resident Evil ever. Like, it was just difficult. And I did it, and you get the corresponding rewards for it. So it makes it worth it. But it was just a really good game, but it took me a while to really get into it. I do have a pull-up. Well, traditionally, my old place, which I've been here since June 1st. My old place, I had a pull-up bar that would hook onto the door. My door was like solid. It wasn't solid steel, but it was like adamantium or something. Like that door could take any kind of beating, and it was all good. But knowing where I was moving to, I don't have any doors that I can do that on. So I bought a $150 pull-up rack. It's the best of the cheapest, I guess. I don't have a lot of space for it, so I keep it over my balcony right now. I put it to the test. My pull-up station can handle 170 pounds on my waist doing a pull-up. So I can really load myself up. I was hoping to be able to do muscle-ups on this pull-up station, but it's too flimsy. It starts to move because when you're doing a muscle-up, you go for a hollow body, and you get up and around almost like a J on top of the bar. You're doing a pull-up, but you're also doing a lat pull-down. And I would load up the weights on the back end to keep it from tilting, but it's a little bit back and forth. But at the same time, the biggest problem was there are horizontal bars for safety in the front of this pull-up rack. And these bars would get in the way of the hollowed out body. Like, there's one right around my ankle, and your feet want to come in front of the bar. I just can't get in the right position, and it's just awkward. So it didn't pan out for muscle-ups like I hoped. But it's safe for what I'm using it for. I had put it in situations where it wasn't safe. I started taking out the safeties so I could maybe do a little bit better. The whole thing just fell over sideways. But ultimately, it's just like you're being careful. You don't I don't swing on it. Slow control, contraction, go down. It's do a set of 5, 100-pound weights on my 100 pounds of weights on me. A set of 5, nothing. Right? It does what I need it to do. I just wish it didn't take up as much space. Anyways, so I finished half my stretching routine. I'm going to start my second half right now. I got the video set up.
As far as you can go.
And
if you have a partner with you, they can
there's a program I go through a couple, like twice a week. Takes 45 minutes. Where I'm gonna pause these women. So I will stretch a little bit every day, but probably like twice a week I will do a full stretch where it takes about 45 minutes to go through everything, and it's something where I follow 2 YouTube videos that I started to follow when I herniated my disc, and it's almost like I know these 2 people, right? I've never met them. They have no, like, they could care less whether I exist or not. But I have, like, you just feel like, hey, hey friends, let's get to it again. This is, it's human psychology is interesting. But I'll 45 minutes twice a week. Whereas my rest of my stretching, like I'll stretch my glutes, I'll stretch this, I'll stretch that, but I'll wake up in the morning, move my body a little bit, move on with my day. I started working out at home with just a pair of dumbbells. I became a twig with arms, and then I moved on to the gym, and I never went back to my home workouts. I would still do some calisthenics. I've experimented with a lot of different things. I've experimented with pure bodybuilding, pure strength training, Olympic lifting. I personally like a hybrid between bodybuilding and strength training. I like lifting heavy weights. I like the cables with constant tension. I like to really, like, I like lifting heavy weights. And it was a really big switch going from the gym back to home. Because once I went from the gym back to home, I was not enjoying my home workouts anymore. And the pandemic first hit, the gym shut down. I took all my workouts outside. The weather allowed for it. I started doing more calisthenic orientated workouts. And then the gyms opened up again, and I was training for my max deadlift. I was deadlifting 575 pounds, aiming for 600. And then this lockdown number 2 hit, and then I fell off the bandwagon. I stopped working out for a couple months until I finally picked myself back up, using Twitch as a medium to motivate myself, keep myself committed to showing up every day. And now I've started enjoying my home workouts again. And that's the thing, right? Like, you need to set the path in front of you, like set the path in front of you to success. Like, make it something that you're going to enjoy doing, so that you can stay committed to it, and you can. And it's hard enough training and doing everything right. Why are you going to make it more difficult on yourself by sort of restricting yourself in a lot of ways? You want everything to be as easy as possible, and then you just put your foot in the door and go. And so now that I'm enjoying my home workouts again, I don't even need to stream to enjoy my workouts. So I'll stream when I have the time, when I have the mental energy to do so. Otherwise, I'll just get home and just pump out a workout and then move on with my day, right? Because like sometimes you just like, when can I get it in? I don't know. Oh, now it's good. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, now let's go do the next thing. But no, like for my back, it's like I develop myself mostly with lifting heavy weights, but I'm actually a lot lighter than I've traditionally been. I like training over 200 pounds, but because I don't have access to all the heavy weights, I've actually been keeping myself a little bit lighter on purpose, because it's hard to maintain a lot of muscle when you can't. Well, at least for me, for my bread and butter programs, when I've had to switch them up, I just focus on the month of January. I calorie counted. I switched up my diet. I focused more on eating high-filling, low-calorie foods. And then after a month of calorie counting and weighing everything, you get sick of it fast. Like a month of counting every calorie and weighing everything, I've done that for years before, but I got sick of it. So I did a month, and then after that, I focused more on eating more high-filling, low-calorie foods. So I'm never gonna gain too much weight that way. I'm eating a lot, but at the same time, I'm just making sure that I'm getting protein for my muscle development, and then carbs and fat. I'm getting whatever I get in between. I've switched on my diet. I'm having more tasty foods right now.
There's a YouTuber, Coach Greg. I bought his cookbook, and I started switching up some of my meals where I would be perfectly happy just having vegetables with a little meat and a little bit of rice and like chicken breast for like weeks at a time, like months at a time. But now I'm switching up, so I have more like dessert type foods and other sweet type foods, but they're based around like soy milk, egg whites, vegetables, with a little bit of paste put in. Where if you put like a small amount of like chocolate chips in, like say 100 calories of chocolate chips into a 2,000 calorie batch of protein ice cream, right? Like it balances out, and there's basically becomes negligible. But for the amount that you're putting in, you put in this much amount, but you get this much taste out of it. The downside is I have developed a sweet tooth, so I actually will make my own protein bars, and I'll have a protein bar. I'll have my protein ice cream. I'll have I make popsicles. Yep, I remember. I'll even do you better. I'll show you what I used to look like before. So I was 140 to 145 pounds from when I was 18 to when I was 24. And then, like my last 6 months of university, I put on 25 pounds fat. I locked myself in a room. I was pulling all-nighter after all-nighter, just eating junk food and pop all day, all night while I was studying. And all the guys in my family were heavily overweight, and I didn't want to become overweight. So first thing I did is I spoke with a nutritionist, and I did a whole bunch of research. And in 3 to 4 weeks, I burnt off all 25 pounds of that fat. Went back down to my 145 pounds. What I did is I switched to drink nothing but water. I went for a walk for an hour every day, and I changed my diet. So a lot of vegetables, a little bit of meat. 3 to 4 weeks, burnt it all off. Didn't even have to try. Then I took it the next step further. So the next aspect to the trifecta is resistance training. So I bought some dumbbells, started working out at home, and the rest was history. As soon as I went to the gym and I fell in love with everything about it, and I started off being a twig with arms. Then I saw somebody who had like a really wide back. I'm like, I want that. So I started training accordingly. I started doing I started training my back 3 days a week. And in I don't remember, like maybe 3 months, I went from being a twig to having like a really nice V, like much nicer than I have now, because I had a thinner waist. Once I started doing heavy deadlifts, my lower waist actually got thicker, and so my upper back doesn't look as wide just because of the proportions. And then I saw somebody who was doing triceps, like he had really nice triceps, so I started doing triceps for like 20 minutes, like probably 5 times a week. And then I got nice triceps. But I did promise you a picture. So I'm going to show you my before picture here. That's me in the middle. Let's see if I can, with my Japanese girlfriend at the time. So this is me at 24. Oh, thanks for lurking. Yeah, and I went from 145 pounds to basically 180 pounds really quickly, but I wasn't as lean. There we go. Oh, something's... Where'd my border go? Why is my border... There we go. Yeah. And I was actually very driven, where I put the blinders on, and like I pushed myself and I did things back then that I would have a harder time doing right now. There was a point in time where for 3 years I was on a 5,000 to 6,000 calorie a day diet for 3 years, and I've been 225 pounds with an 8-pack. So right now I got 6 abs that you can see, another 2 that are buried beneath fat, and for these last two abs, I have to train them actively quite hard just to get them to pop out a little bit. But I was 225 pounds with an 8-pack, absolutely starving, just miserable. Like, it was hard, right? Like, everything that you eat, it's restricted, and you like I heard a phrase. I heard a bodybuilder friend of mine say, "I would kill somebody for a Pop-Tart," and that's what I related with. Like, it was just not sustainable long term. Once I get below 7%, my body starts to shut down. Meanwhile, I'm at 11% right now, last time I measured, and I feel like I could run through a wall. But on a 5,000 to 6,000 calorie a day diet, that was harder for 3 years, where I would eat midnight, 12:30, my last meal, go to bed absolutely stuffed out of my mind, wake up at 5:30, still full, just to eat again. And I was lifting heavy, like hours, I was lifting heavy but smart, and I was moving my body with a lot of cardio, playing badminton. Compound lifts are great. Do a lot of stuff with posture. Most people do too many pushing exercises and not enough pulling exercises, and it actually pulls the body out of whack, especially the shoulders. So you want a wider physique. Going for shoulders will go a long way. Even just letting the body know, like external versus internal rotation. You do a lot of pushing, whereas you start doing pulling, you start to open up, everything gets wider. So you need to be able to open up. So a lot of people, they can't get a lot of focus on posture, standing, presentation. That will go a long way. And proportions and posture is a primary driver of how aesthetically pleasing that you look, right? Standing. I would spend lots of time standing against the wall, practicing my posture. Just stand nice and tall, and it's at the same time healthy shoulders, healthy body. And then there's a lot of things you can change, like with your bones, with your hips, but you can manage, and even with your body fat to a degree, right? Everybody has a different amount of fat cells in your body, and for myself, I start to shut down at about 7% body fat, whereas for me, where I start to shut down 7%, another person might start shutting down below 10%. Meanwhile, other people can live with 5% body fat and function and live a normal life. But based off your body type, which is on a spectrum, when you're within certain body fat percentages with a certain amount of muscle, you can expect to look a certain way, and you can work on the bigger muscles. You work on the bigger muscles, you're going to get more bang for your buck when it comes to aesthetics. Work on your legs, your back. They're just big muscles that will grow faster. A lot of the other muscles, in the shoulder, the shoulders are big muscles. You can grow your shoulders quite well as well, but there's smaller things going on in there as well. And those just stabilizers and whatnot, they just don't grow as fast. So what you often see, particularly when somebody's on performance-enhancing drugs, is they will explode with the big muscles really quickly, and they will look very unproportional to the point where it's cartoonish, because the other muscles haven't had a chance to catch up yet. And then what else you get is what steroids and the like can do is they can actually, there's natural inhibitors in your body where your biceps aren't going to grow anymore without your triceps having reached a certain level. There's inhibitors in your body that will prevent growth without other things being in place first. And performance-enhancing drugs can sort of negate those inhibitors to a point where you get somebody with massive biceps and no triceps. And there's some genetics involved in there, but at the same time, it's anyways, So I am going to put back on my next video. But you asked what muscles specifically? Most people when they're training too many pushing exercises, you need equivalent amount of pulling exercises, different variations of the back. Keep your shoulders healthy. Like even your legs, right? Like legs are going to go a long way to, like, you're gonna have a strong core, compound lifts. You're gonna have a functional body. I'm running out of water, and you can put quite a bit of size in your legs, even if you might not necessarily see it right away. But there's a couple thought processes around fitness. Like one is like you train different body parts to get them to grow. There's another thought process that, oh, you train your legs and everything else catches up. Like there's like 90% of it is just showing up and trying hard, and then after that it becomes just letting yourself recover. You need hypertrophy to build muscle. There's no ifs, ands, or about it. That's a stimulant for muscle growth. The more volume of hypertrophy you get, the more size you're going to build. And then then you have to rest to repair the muscles. That's anyway. So I'm gonna no problem. I'm gonna switch to my next video now before it gets too late.
Direction to get the same effect. And if you're doing this right, like I said,
it
shouldn't just benefit your hamstrings. It should go all the way up through your spine.
Okay, I know what's coming next.
Alright, and for our second stretch, we're going to do the half split. So what you're going to do is extend your right foot forward, and then your back leg bent, and then we're going to go ahead and reach to the side, and then take it forward to target two different muscles in our hamstring, starting with the outside and then into the under hamstring. So take your left arm and reach all the way over until you're getting close to your toe. You should feel a deep stretch in your hamstring and also underneath your armpit. And then go ahead and take it forward. It's okay if you can't go all the way down, but go as close to your leg as you can.
I should grab my phone so I can see the chat.
We're going to go to the side again. So reach all the way over past your toe.
Oh.
Feel that deep stretch. And
mostly talking rather than stretching. I finished half my stretching routine.
And then we're going to do one more.
Maybe a little bit more than half.
Over to the side.
I want to
on your leg again.
Move on with my day.
And just sit there for about 5 seconds or so.
Catalina, 1, 2, 3.
Now we're going to put our chest towards the center. So this is probably going to be a deeper stretch for most of you. So put your elbows all the way down to the ground. And if you're feeling a little bit ambitious, put it even further down. And reach as far forward as you can.
Cat.
And hold it for about 5 seconds.
I'll do my best to remember that. Cat.
Now we're going to elbow our way back up to the top. And we're going to take what's going to stretch in your quadricep a little bit. So go back. And if you can't go all the way down flat on your back, just stay here on your elbows. And I'm going to do a little bit more of an advanced version and go further down for a further stretch like this. Just follow along with Karina if you're feeling like this is too much of a stretch. Now I'm going to go back to my elbows. You should feel this in your hip flexor as well. So by stretching all these muscles in our hips and our quadricep area, it's going to help increase our flexibility in our hamstrings as well. Now I'm going to walk all the way back up and go forward one more time.
That was fun.
And just hold it there for 5 seconds. And then we're going to walk back, go down on our elbows again. And just like before, stay on your elbows, and if you're feeling like you want a little bit more of a stretch, then go all the way flat on your back. And I'm going to walk up and do the left side now.
Okay.
Which, it's okay if this one's a little bit less flexible. It is for most people, so you might feel a little bit more of a stretch. So we're going to go all the way over to the side again and reach towards your toes.
Dave's leaving me behind here.
Okay, again.
All right.
And just like before, stay on your elbows, and if you're feeling like you want a little bit more of a stretch, then go all the way flat on your back.
This thing isn't a good angle. Whoops.
And I'm gonna walk up and do the left side now. Which, it's okay if this one's a little bit less flexible. It is for most people, so you might feel a little bit more of a stretch. So we're gonna go all the way over to the side again and reach towards your toes. And again, you should feel it all the way through your armpit and down the side of your body. And then we're gonna put our chest on our knees again.
Jesus.
And go again to the side.
Okay. I can't do my arm.
Onto our knee.
My triceps cramping up.
And one more time. All the way over to the side.
Tell me you've had enough.
Reach past your toes. And face down on your knee again. Alright, now we're going to do our stretch where we're going to go forward down to the ground. Just go as far as you can. Don't push it too much.
Okay, I think after this stretch, I think I'm actually going to call it quits. My body's not happy with me anymore.
Feel this in your inner thigh as well.
Oh.
Then hold it for a few more seconds. And then walk your way back up.
I'm ready.
And go all the way back around. And either go on your elbows, or if you want more of a stretch again, go all the way down. And hold it there for about 5 seconds. And I'm going to walk back up and go forward again.
All right. You know what, guys? I think I'm done. My triceps are cramping up on me.
And reach with your fingers all the way forward.
It's telling me it's time to quit. Jeez.
Walk back up.
Right?
And elbows towards the ground again.
Oh.
Or your back.
All right. I think I'm going to.
My last time.
Oh. Take a shower.
All right, and so for my next position, I'm going to go ahead
and let's call that quits. Let's see if I can send the love somebody else's way here. See if there's anybody I know who is currently on. All right, let's send you to Terrible Hime. Some of you might know her already. She's her and her husband are good people.
There you go.
I'm all sweaty. Let's get the.
That's game, baby. Let's go.
Oh, look at all that. Woo! It's hot in here, and it's not just me. Look at that farmer tan. All right.
That was a good game.
Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for coming, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.